Real-time strategy games are the most underrated genre in the gaming world. Today, we're hoping to shed some light on some of the best RTS games and some of the more hidden gems. The MOBA genre has challenged the RTS scene for some time, but these RTS games are up for the challenge. It's impossible to explain just how enjoyable and satisfying RTS games are. Building and commanding a fearsome army, annihilating your enemies, creating sprawling cities, and celebrating your victory? There are no words to do RTS games justice, but we'll try. So welcome to Gamer Jooce. Today, we're bringing you 10 of the best RTS games. There are a ton more, but for now, here are these incredible 10. Let's get started with number 10. Civilization VI. Coming in at number 10 is Civilization VI. So there's actually a lot of debate about which modern civilization is the best. Whether you think Civ 5 or Civ 6 was the superior one, let us know your thoughts in the comments. But the sixth entity of the series, Civilization VI, is an awe-worthy game. Not only is it incredibly addictive, but the amount of mechanics offered is insane. It's not just declaring war. Civilization VI forces you to pay attention because your actions do impact the world. And the unique thrilling part about this particular entry in the series is the fact that not all changes are remarkably monumental. Little things have an effect over time. You'll have to fight and battle it out with someone eventually. But this definitely counts as one of the best strategy games. Now we have number 9, Homeworld Deserts of Carrock. Next up, we have Homeworld Deserts of Carrock, one of the best RTS games in the world. The premise is about a journey throughout the vast desert on your mission to save a civilization. Remarkably so, each battle you epically go through is connected to the last one and the future fights to come. Homeworld Deserts of Carrock combines the space wars of the original Homeworld games into one single planet. Somehow, this gigantic desert that we're playing on is the farthest thing from boring. Aspects like terrain and elevation replicate the three-dimensional battles of all the previous games. And things like sand dunes provide cover, hiding places, and high ground from where you can unleash hell on enemies. And let's not even go into the fantastic art design that is superior to the majority of RTS games. The moving sound design and the engaging narrative. Yes, Homeworld Deserts of Carrock earned its spot on the list. Moving on forward to number 8, Offworld Trading Company. Offworld Trading Company is a top-notch RTS game. It features epic economic warfare, hostile takeovers, and sabotages, and the actual gameplay is a lot more aggressive than you would think. You're put in charge of one of 4 off-world trading companies. Your mission? Make a fortune out of exploiting Mars. It's impossible to act without influencing the status and decision-making of your competitors, and by the time the impact of one change has been felt, another handful have already happened. This particular RTS game isn't about who has the biggest gun or tank. No, your weapon and armor are things like money and resources. You use these resources to manipulate the marketplace in order to increase your wealth and, of course, take down your competitors. You get to make alliances with your rivals, temporary alliances where backstabbing is implied. Planning what to build next, what to sell, who to trust, who to betray, and which company to aggressively take over. It's just as adrenaline pumping as throwing tanks at other tanks. Now we have number 7, Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri. Sliding in at number 7 is the award-winning Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri, the spiritual sequel to the Civilization series. Set in the 22nd century, you get to colonize an entire new planet in what's considered one of the greatest 4-act strategy games in history. The sci-fi aspect is what launches Alpha Centauri to another level. The narrative is amazing, and instead of having the same repetitive idea of Terran types on the planet, there's a procedural system that maps out contours and climate, establishing these incredibly believable valleys and hills and streaming water. Deal with the alien native life, the diplomatic and spy options, the ever-changing climate, and more in this addictive RTS. Moving on forward to number 6, Shadow Tactics, Blade of the Okay, so an RTS game, but with samurai. Number 6, Shadow Tactics, Blade of the Shogun. Economic warfare, actual warfare pale in comparison to the tension of the brilliant strategies Shadow Tactics, Blade of the Shogun forces you to think of. You don't have access to vicious armies and numerous units, or a limitless vault of money. Instead, an elite group of 5 characters is what you get. Each warrior has his own different skills and strengths. Everything depends on your decision-making skills. Your warriors may be terrifying skilled killers, but the samurai are something else. The innovative way Blade of the Shogun twists on the traditional RTS genre is refreshing. Each new level of the campaign represents a new challenging and thrilling puzzle that you have to solve using your soldiers. Shadow Tactics, Blade of the Shogun will leave you feeling like an epic, strategic ninja as you leave your enemies in the dust behind you. Now we have it, number 5, Northgard. Our number 5 spot is reserved for Northgard, whose Vikings, shield maidens, wyverns will suck you in. This real-time strategy has you exploring an island in search of a home that you can expand in order to build a new life for you and your people. Instead of the typical premise of having you just endlessly build buildings and recruiting units, you have to meticulously plan on how to deal with a limited population. There are various jobs that you have to carefully assign people to. Of course, sinister forces are waiting on the horizon. You are not the only one wanting to build a home for yourself. Each clan of Viking you meet will be unique and with their own distinct playstyle. So one may prefer to form alliances, while others just revel in conquering. Some want to make money, and others just want to wreak havoc by summoning a kraken. Every island is procedurally generated, and there's the ominous threat of NPC monsters that you have to worry about. So the RTS aspect is joined by a survival element, as you need to find enough supplies and food to get you through the harrowing winter phases. Moving on to number 4, Supreme Commander. Air, ground, and naval combat are packed into one eventful and exhilarating game. Up next at number 4 is the underrated gem that is Supreme Commander. First, there was Total Annihilation, an iconic RTS game from 1997, but now we have Supreme Commander, a worthy spiritual sequel. If you ever get the urge to want to watch armies clash in epic glory and hundreds upon hundreds of robots, Supreme Commander is the real-time strategy for you. As you command one of the game's 3 factions, the Aeon Illuminate, the United Earth Federation, or the Cybran Nation, you have to build a base and upgrade your units to reach higher technology tiers, all while raining hell upon opponents. Moving on to number 3, Endless Legend. Bizarre cultists, giant beautiful cities, and ruthless and hungry power grabs in an apocalyptic world is what Endless Legend is all about. There was so much care and thought that was put into it that you'll constantly discover new details. Each Endless Legend world is hauntingly beautiful. As the game masterfully mixes fantasy and science fiction, you'll stumble upon epic scenarios such as stranded spacemen and magical dragon people. The cities are unbelievably elaborate, and the factions are arguably the best part of this iconic game. If you have ever heard about Endless Legend, then you have heard about the flesh-eating insect race, which is actually called necrophage. Then you've got the previously mentioned bizarre cultists, who greedily swallow up other factions if they want to expand their city. Each faction is powerfully armed with a strong narrative and a set of story quests. Side quests and stories actually exist in a delightful abundance. Are you ready to take on flesh-eating insect race? This RTS adventure is just waiting for you. Now we have number 2, the Crusader Kings. Which Crusader Kings game is the best strategy game? Decide for yourself, but we recommend the Crusader Kings 3. In whatever version you choose, enjoy the adrenaline you'll get from having entire troops under your command and on the ready to conquer a territory. As the ruler, battles aren't your only concern. The day-to-day life is beyond complex. Everything from the wrath of your scornful wife who may be plotting to kill you, and your daughter's marriage to rival ambitions will have you constantly planning and reacting. Eventually, your ruler will meet his demise in the throne room, but the heir will take over and deal with all the consequences of their predecessor's actions, making the game endlessly compelling with all the family drama. Crusader Kings has a steep learning curve that you can only figure out after the hours of fun. Soon enough, you'll get the hang of the politics, military tactics, vassals, economy, religion, and all the spying going on. Now we have the RTS game that secured the top spot at number 1, Total War: Three Kingdoms. There are a lot of gems in the RTS genre that are worth mentioning, so much so that we couldn't pick just a single one that deserves the number 1 spot without competition, so we picked this worthy classic, Total War: Three Kingdoms. Command entire armies as a general, Total War: Three Kingdoms is set in the year 2020 to 2080 in China during the historical Three Kingdoms period. You get to command several generals and troops. The main feature of the game is siege battle, and the end goal is viciously eliminating the game's other factions in order to unify China. Total War: Three Kingdoms draws inspiration from Warhammer, another epic RTS game. So we get the same thrilling gameplay both on and off the battlefield. Diplomacy, trade, and battle performance are equally important. This Battle of China makes for an incredibly compelling campaign, and for history buffs out there, you'll enjoy the historical bookmakers from different events from the era. And that's a wrap for today's video. We hope you enjoyed watching it. What is your favorite RTS game? Leave your answer in a comment below. We would love to know. Also, make sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel for more awesome content, and click on the notification bell below to be notified whenever we upload new videos. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.